While the United States may be a superpower and dominate in the areas of science and technology, in the domain of education, we somewhat lag behind. Each year, students around the world take part in the Program for International Student Assessment called the PISA test. Based on these results, the United States ranks 17th out of 34 evaluated countries. In order to make improvements to our education system, we need to look at other countries that consistently rank higher and try to figure out what similarities and differences we have so that we can better understand education systems worldwide.
The United States approaches education in a way unlike most other countries. It is primarily dictated by the state government, not federal. Students are mandated by law to attend school until a certain age, but this age can vary from 16 to 18 depending on the individual state laws. Additionally, it goes down to an even smaller scale, running a school district with its own board to make changes and decisions affecting the schools under its jurisdiction. Location is the deciding factor on where curriculum, budget, and resources come from. All children are given the right to a free and appropriate public education, while private schools require tuition, but the resources and qualities may differ from place to place.
Finland holds the belief that the well-being of their society is heavily based on their citizens being competent and knowledgeable. This belief has shaped their ideas and policies related to education. When it comes to their education system, they are vastly different from America. In Finland, children do not start school until they are 7 years old, and their methods of learning might be seen as unconventional. Their students tend to learn by accident, with an emphasis placed on piquing their interest rather than by direct instruction during the early years of education. Finland's teachers are also held to a very high standard. Their teachers are required to have a master's degree, and only 10% are recruited for the jobs in Finland schools. These differences seem to make a world of difference, and each year Finland students consistently rank high on the PISA test.
Japan has one of the most centralized education systems in the world. This means that the curriculum for its schools is dictated by the federal government and allows for students to be taught and evaluated on the same scale. Additionally, Japanese schools are split into 3 terms with more frequent, shorter breaks to prevent skill loss over long vacation periods. Also, more often than not, the extra days are used in order to engage students in learning outside the classroom in order to extend the lessons learned in the formal classroom setting while building lifelong learning skills.
China is home to the largest education system in the world and is also one of the many countries that is ranked higher than the U.S. regarding education. Chinese schools have an extremely hard work ethic which results in student success. According to the China Education Center, in 1986, the Chinese government passed a law making 9 years of education mandatory for all Chinese children, and it is estimated today that 99.7% of the population has achieved that.
American policymakers and researchers heavily examine the teaching methods, curriculum, and academic programs of the countries who are consistently placing higher than the United States because they are in search of methods that can be applied to American schools. Their fear is that the country will face serious economic challenges if our education system is not improved in order to meet the demanding skills of the future workforce that the students will one day face. Author Yang Zhao disagrees with these policymakers and educational researchers, looking to other countries for the answers to fix the issues with education in the United States, as well as having only a small understanding of what it means to define academic success, both for schools, teachers, and students. He believes that how we define success for students, teachers, and schools determine how schools are evaluated, and it directs our energy, efforts, and resources to what are considered indicators of success.
The United States education system may have its fair share of both pros and cons, but it also has room for loads of improvement. A report from the Economic Policy Institute suggests that well-respected international tests have misranked the achievement of United States students. This means that federal and state leaders have based their education policies on misleading data. Dan Domenech, the executive director of the American Association of School Administrators, recently discussed his trip to Russia to learn more about education within their nation. While there, he found some interesting comparisons. Although Russian students generally appear more disciplined and contain knowledge that comes in handy when being tested, they lack the independent thinking and creativity that is a hallmark of our system of education in the U.S. The United States education system strives to encourage a more student-led learning style, which is something that other countries lack. There are a lot of key strengths and weaknesses when referring to the United States education system. Teachers are more well-regarded abroad and are often highly respected and qualified. There is also a big difference in test scores. Despite an all-time high amount of money being invested on students in the United States, graduation rates have barely increased, dropout rates are still the same, and test scores are still among the worst. Part of the blame is being put on parents, and many critics say that they need to improve education at home and enhance the prominence of academic achievement to their children. The United States education system prides itself on aiming to treat all students equally, which is something that other countries cannot say. Statistics have proven that the European education system functions on a separatist model. This means that at an early age, administrators decide which direction to push students in based on which profession they believe will be more appropriate and suitable for that particular student. This gives European students a lack of self-choice and guidance, whereas the United States has an equal opportunity education structure. As a country, we may not rank number one academically, but we do rank number one in our ability to educate everyone, regardless of race, gender, socioeconomic status, or religious views. Statistics show that the United States has 35 of the top 50 higher education universities. Students from all over the world travel to the U.S. to receive a higher quality education in American universities. There is no denying that our education system as a whole has slipped in recent years, but the rededication of resources and drive to improve education in the United States may just be the answer. Key figures within the United States are taking steps to improve the academic aspect of the education system, and I am confident that it can only go up from here.